when he was, I was looking at the word Peniel when he was talking about how the name of this place, Peniel. The word Peniel breaks down into this. The P part is Pana means face, and then El is God. Of course, just keep it with A-R, the same thing. But also, what I saw in that, when I looked at one of the roots, is there is another root meaning, and it is Pani. And Pani deals with it being a ruby or a pearl. Have y'all ever read that parable that says the kingdom is like a fine pearl that one went and, you know what I mean, went and got? Mm-hmm. So what he found, and a pearl, where do you get a pearl from? An oyster. You get it from outside. You have to remove it from a shell. Okay. Esau was the shell of himself. Y'all see that? Okay. But when he had this experience, he saw the jewel, or that, you remember I said that treasure that's within the ego? Mm-hmm. He saw the jewel that was within the shell. So now when he went to confront, what the shell was, he didn't have fear anymore.
Well, he saw, it's like the person in the movie that says, I see you. Yes. He didn't see the husk of Esau anymore. Yes. He saw essence of Esau and the fact that he was connected with Esau.
Yes. And he saw what the essence was in Esau and himself. Still saw the shell. That's the same as us still seeing the shell of people. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You still are dealing with the shell, the ego of people. You deal with even zombies who don't know what's in them, you know, who do things not knowing. But when you recognize that pearl or that ruby that's in yourself, then you also relate to that pearl and ruby that's in people. And that makes you free. You got something?
I wanted to ask, I asked this is the original translation
for the core word of the Pani?
So when you're talking about the pearl, because Jews wouldn't have dealt with the oyster or the pearl. It was unclean.
Yeah. Now, also though, but why they use those terms is this, because when Jesus was operating in the Middle East, they were a very, very, very mixed people. Influenced by Greeks, influenced by Romans, influenced by Phoenicians. So they use terms exactly. So what happened is he would use terms that would have been common to everyone, because there would have been people who dove for the pearl. There was merchants who dove 100 feet and held their breath to get the pearl. So it would have been a common allegory for it.
Also, keep in mind that the word actually Jew does not appear at all in the New Testament. There's no such thing as a Jew in the New Testament. The word that was transliterated into Jew actually makes reference to descendants of Judah, the ones who lived in Judah. It's talking about Judah or Judea, and that was translated as Jew. So the whole word Jew, the whole religion of Judaism is foreign to the New Testament. So it wouldn't have, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that basically, what triggered it is when you talk about how mixed the people were. Yeah. They were so mixed until a lot of the dietary laws were not even adhered to at that time. So there was not that strict, Jewish thing that we think it was. It was not even there. That's pretty fascinating.
That's how he has circumstances with the pigs. When he has them, you know what I mean? Because those pigs were in a town of Jews who had become Greekicized. You see, that's what opened up the situation for the demon possession, because they were breaking spiritual laws.
And really, because there was no religion called Judaism, and there were no Jews, the priests were actually like a clique. You know, they were like a religious thing. It was like, you know, your family called it the priesthood, but the people down the street, they poor. You know, and they were your cousins. You see what I'm talking about? They were your uncle's children. And they didn't see a problem with that.
I thought although I know they weren't called Jews or whatever,
Yeah.
but they were followers of Abraham.
Some of them were.
Okay, and then they had certain laws about cleanliness and what to do and what not to do.
The majority of the Jews had become assimilated into, they were Hellenites. Yeah, they had become assimilated into the Roman or the Greek way of life. So they were not following the dietary laws.
So they were not.
Right, they were not.
It's like Jews of today. They say they're Jews
Until you give them a pork chop.
Yeah, BLT. Some of them really do and some of them don't. Any other thoughts on anything? Any other thoughts or questions?
Everybody see my keys? That's all the questions. Thank you.
But yeah, I guess in closing, like one of the things that I just want to deal with here is I think something that we talked about. Everything right now is operating in our favor. Everything. And the reason that it's moving there is because we are maturing to a point where we will have the decision or the fork in the road what will be manifested in this universe. Because the reason you sense time speeding up everything is moving us to a place that we are mature enough to decide, if we think immediately, what reality will come into the world. You see that? And that's why there is a move that we're talking about to control what's going to happen to this energy. Because the time is speeding up, that means the distance between thought and desire and action is closing. Okay? So there are those who want to position all men to accept whatever reality a few men would like to create for their gain. Y'all see that? But we're moving to a place where Ms. Barr was talking about how he was linked up. But when we're linked up and as we mature and the season and time is ripening, we will determine what is going to manifest, what is going to become reality. So that's. Did someone take it? Go ahead. I got you.
I just want to talk the fact that this is the last time we'll meet before 2010. 2010 is the year of linking up and building that web that's on the board. This is the year that we have to be able to reach out to everyone with a similar intent in order to build up, or this is like a time. This is like a calm before a storm, and this is the time period that we have to use to get as strong as we can. And so I think that a lot of the stuff that we'll have to deal with this year will have to do with bringing into realization and actualization all the stuff that we're talking about, for the purpose of changing our environment rather than have it change us.
Darn, hold on. Because that's what, man, we be subconscious with each other, man. Everything, I be driving on the road, all this stuff I be thinking about. And then I get there, I can't remember none of it. Now, with what Nick said, the other thing I wanted to add to that is this, because this is one thing I very much feel about 2010. 2010 will be about focusing what you want to build and rising above whatever you are afraid of. Because right now, what you are afraid of will be grabbing at your heels in this year to come. You know, we were talking about how everything you wanted to hide, you can't hide nothing. You got insecurities about yourself, about life, about society, about finances, about family. You have to be able to put your mindset and desire in a place of, instead of focusing on those things, focus on becoming the vessel to channel this energy to create the reality of the creator. Because this will be a year where I would say this, that what I believe, people's fears are